welcome back to our channel. My name is Shay. I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari.
I am Tyler, part-time seller on Mercari, Poshmark, eBay.
And today's video, we are talking about Poshmark trends, the do's and don'ts, and how to use it, all that type of stuff. So before we get into it, you do have a t-shirt.
I do have a shirt. Checketh thyself, lest ye wrecketh thyself, and it's basically painted. This is my shirt now.
It's a size extra large.
It's a kid's extra large. There's something going on here.
Okay, let's just move right into the video. So we are going to give you 5 do's and don'ts if you are looking to use Poshmark trends. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Leave us a comment down below letting us know if it was helpful, but also let us know what your experience has been with Poshmark trends. Have you done things that we aren't sharing here? Have you had good success with it? We want to know all of your experiences, so leave that in the comments below. Do you want to start with number 1?
Yeah, check the trends daily for Poshmark to see if any of your items are eligible to be entered into that trend.
Yeah, so I am going to share on the left here of Tyler the trends for today, and just so you can see what it looks like if you're looking up today's trends. So today's trends say precious cargo, style the perfect outfit with this season's it item, cargo pants. And it has low-rise cargo pants, then ripped cropped tank tops, cropped knit shrugs, halter crop tops, duster cardigans, and I mean, you can kind of like look through them and see what they are, but there's a bunch of different rooms that you can fall into. So part of our do is just kind of scrolling through these and seeing, is there anything you have currently listed or in your death pile that would fit into this trend? If it is, make sure that you grab that and kind of move through these steps to see if you can get it in there. But we do have a don't. So don't source based on these trends. They are changing daily and they do reappear, but it doesn't seem to be very consistent and there doesn't seem to be like a schedule for that. And also, truthfully, I don't know how trendy their trends really are. It seems very Poshmark specific.
I think more important is continue to source the items that you know you can flip, and then if they fall into some of the trends, try to get them wedged in there and see if that helps with the selling of the item. But the primary focus is to buy items that you're comfortable with in your closet and selling. Yeah,
exactly. Don't worry about these so much that you're sourcing based on them, but do put them in if you can. Okay, so number 2 is do update keywords / categories to fit the relevant trend. So if you go into your trends, I'm going to show you here, there is something that says view details. And if you click on that, it's going to tell you what brands are included if it is brand specific. It's going to tell you what categories are included, so exactly what category your item needs to fall under to fit in this trend, what the conditions are, which I've never seen it say anything other than all, but I'm sure there are probably new tag trends. I might just not have seen them yet. And then the keywords that are required. So I will say that the keywords required does seem to be a little bit loose. I do see some trends that it doesn't need to be exactly specific, but other ones have to be perfect. So I usually just copy exactly those keywords and make sure they're in my listing. And then the categories are a big one because I will notice that, maybe I have a sweater that is going to fit into a category and I have it listed as just a regular sweater, but they want a cardigan. So that type of stuff is really important. So make sure you're checking that to make sure that it falls in there.
Do not just add random keywords to an item that doesn't belong. So there's nothing more frustrating than the trend being floral dresses and you get a little black dress that has nothing to do with floral and somebody just put it in there to try to get it appealing to every person, even when it's not the item they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I think of this very similarly to keyword stuffing. It is really frustrating to have things in the trend rooms that are not relevant to the trends. So don't just try to get your things in the room to get more eyes on it. Make sure that it is relevant. It's going to get bad buyer experience otherwise. Okay, number 3 is do share trend items often. The rooms move fast, so being at the top is really important. So when I do this, I will share everything to the top that's going to be part of my trends for the day. And then I will share them like every half hour. Like I really share them a lot. Now granted, I only end up with 5 to 10 items that are going to fall into trends per day. So it's not a lot, but I want to make sure that I'm constantly sharing them. It gets you increased activity throughout the day and people are constantly looking at those items. And they're usually items that you're not getting a lot of activity on to begin with. So it's a really great way to get those items seen.
Do not just set it and forget it. That's probably the worst thing you can do with the trends because then it just sits there and dies.
Yeah, so this is going to be a situation where this is me not being part of Poshmark, so not really understanding the ins and outs. However, from testing with different people, we have figured out that there are certain things that don't make your item show up in the room. So first of all, if you don't share the item at all, it won't show up. Even if everything is accurate in there, if it hasn't been shared today, it's not going into the trend room. Number two, it seems like sometimes new listings are required rather than just updating the listing. And I don't know the rhyme or reason for that. Some days I'm perfectly fine just adding my keywords and changing my categories. Other days it has to be brand new. And thirdly, I have also noticed that sometimes my items just don't go into the trend room. I don't have a reason. I can't explain it. I've talked to Posh support. Don't have a reason, but make sure that you're being really proactive about this and looking and seeing if you want those items to show up in the trend room, that you're making sure that they show up there. Don't just leave it and forget about it.
Number 4, do check both the daily trends and the monthly trends to keep a pulse on what is selling on Poshmark.
Yeah, so we did talk about the daily trends. I showed you what was there. There is also what they're calling the Insider. I'm going to show you a screenshot of May's Insider to my left. But they have a really great breakdown of like what is selling really well right now. One I found interesting from this month was kids' costumes. I'm guessing Comic-Con or something like that is what is picking that up because it's not Halloween. So I'm guessing that. But it is really interesting to see that they are obviously aggregating data from sales that they have specifically on their platform. Doesn't mean it's going to be across all platforms, but it is really interesting to see that, and I'm glad that they're sharing this information. So definitely keep a pulse on that. If it's something that you think you can source, I mean, might as well, like why not, right? So just kind of keep an eye on it, see what's selling, see what Poshmark is telling us.
Don't rely on the trends to be Posh compliant and abide by their own terms of service, because that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, so there are 2 instances of this that I know of specifically. I'm sure there are more because I don't do this every single day, so I'm not super up on everything. However, the first one that comes to mind is used makeup. As we all know, that is against terms of service. However, that did pop up in a trend, and there was a picture of used makeup being sold. It was very confusing, and a lot of people were questioning what was going on. It is still against terms of service, so the left hand isn't speaking to the right hand, I guess. I don't know. And then number 2, I'm going to show you a screenshot from a Facebook group. But essentially, the color sea moss green was a trend, and everybody that was using that terminology in that order was getting their listing immediately removed because it is apparently something you can eat, I believe.
It's edible. You can eat sea moss if you want to. I don't know very many people that do want to, but that is something. It can be considered a food product.
Yeah, and that is not allowed on Poshmark. So because of that, the automation system that Poshmark has was removing all those listings, even though it was a trend room. So I did kind of scroll through that trend room, and people were getting around it by putting it out of order or only using parts of it. But if you used it the way it was meant to be used, you were removed. So don't assume that because it's a trend, it's Posh compliant. It's apparently not a foolproof plan.
Number 5. Do check to find the popular or trending brands to get an idea of the brands and items that people are actively looking for.
Yeah, so just like I said with the daily trends, there is something called popular brands. It came out around the same time. So if you go under shopping and you go under brands, you can scroll down and you will see a heading that says popular brands, and it's going to give you a bunch of brands that are popular for Poshmark. Now, I don't know how they're aggregating this data. I don't know if it's based on number of sales. I don't know if it's based on volume, pricing. I don't know what it is, but they are telling us that these are what's popular on Poshmark right now. Doing a quick scroll, I have my own opinions on this.
It seems to be a mixed bag. You have Old Navy and you have Tory Burch. So you have Lululemon and you have Lucky Brand. So it does seem to run the gambit.
Right, but it's definitely something to look at and maybe look and see if there are brands that you don't know that you want to do some more research on.
Don't just buy brands because Poshmark is telling you to. You should never really just buy things because you've heard about it. You should tentatively do that to experiment and expand your knowledge base, but don't really just trust a corporation to do it for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I will expand that to say don't just trust a YouTuber. Don't just trust a brand that we told you to buy. Do your own research. Make sure that you're looking into it, seeing if it's good for your niche, your area, your category of buyer, all that type of stuff. But for Poshmark, I'm looking at some of their brands, and I would say, like, if I looked at this, For example, Guess. I wouldn't purchase that personally for me. I know my thrift stores actually price that up a little bit, and it's also just not something that would fit into what I have for a business model currently. So just because Poshmark is recommending it doesn't mean I would. Another one here would be Fashion Nova. I wouldn't want to purchase that, just I don't want to sell fast fashion. So it's not something personally for me, but it doesn't mean that there are other brands on here that aren't useful. Lily Pulitzer's on here. I'm gonna certainly purchase that and buy it. So I think it's a good thing to kind of just keep an eye on and see if there's brands in there you want to learn more about, but just don't take it as a gospel for brands you have to source.
Yeah, I mean, they have Disney on there, and you're a sucker for Disney, so
I might be a sucker for Disney. So anyways, that is how I use trends. That is how I am doing it currently right now. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Let us know your experience and let us know if you have any questions at all.
Thank you all for watching.